We go straight to Parliament, where Justice and Legal Affairs Committee is expected already convened a meeting with the Office of the Director of Public Prosecutions at the Ethics and Anti-Corruption Commission to discuss the progress of the investigations and prosecution of the ongoing corruption cases. That meeting is expected to kick off this afternoon at Parliament Buildings. Francis Ontomwa is following up on that bit and now joins us from our city centre studio. Francis, what are some of the highlights that we should be expecting from this meeting?
Actually, a lot to expect from this particular meeting between the Parliament and also these two state bodies. There has been a lot of some sort of escalated tension between the Office of the Director of Public Prosecutions and also the Ethics and Anti-Corruption Commission. And the Parliament today is going to act as some sort of a referee to try and find issues why these two bodies are really not working in synchrony and ensure that they bring them together and build synergy so that corruption cases can be prosecuted. The Office of the Director of Public Prosecutions has time and again raised a lot of concerns regarding the kind of cases that the Ethics and Anti-Corruption Commission has been forwarding to them. They've been saying that these cases have been coming with shoddy investigation. Last week, the DPP himself, Noordin Haji, raised these concerns, and he actually said that he was taking back a lot of cases back to the EACC to take them back to EACC so that they can consolidate and cement their evidence before they bring them to them. Because Noordin said that when these cases are not prosecuted, he has been the man on the spot all the time, because Kenyans will be asking questions, why are corruption cases not really getting that prosecution? So that simmering tension that has been between EACC and the Office of the DPP is what actually will be staged today at the Parliament buildings, when of course members of the Justice and Legal Affairs will be having a moment with these two state bodies. Important is to establish where the missing links between these two bodies, where there appears to be lacking some sort of synchrony, and therefore it will be important, rather important actually, for Kenyans to glue their eyes on that bit to know how this particular important forum will be taking place.
Right, Francis, of course, this is something that you've been following up on. You've mentioned missing links. Have you talked to any authorities to give you just any idea?
Well, of course, we are speaking of the very recent corruption cases that have come up. We are talking of the National Youth Service mega scandal that we've been reporting about. There is the NCPB probe and many other corruption cases touching even on governors, touching on senators and members of parliament. And particularly last week, Noordin Haji referred to tens of cases back to the EACC, saying that most of them, especially those that are touching on governors, who are lacking in substance in terms of evidence compilation. And therefore that is the message that Noordin was saying, that you are giving me cases that are weak. When I go to courts, they backfire, and when it backfires on my office. Actually, that is the Office of the DPP, and those are the concerns that we expect will be coming up in that particular forum when the members of Parliament will be meeting these two state bodies. NYS scam that we've been reporting about massively has been on the spotlight in a big way, because we are speaking of a multi-billion case where millions or billions of shillings have been lost here in Kenya, and focus has been so much on how the courts will be proceeding with this case, whether answers will be found. The judiciary has been on the receiving end, and most importantly, the prosecution has been more on the spotlight. And that is the reason why the Office of the DPP is quite firm this time around. It wants watertight cases, watertight evidence to be brought forth by EACC. Reason why that coalition must really end for these two bodies to work in synchrony, because Kenyans are really asking questions. Kenyans are expecting a lot. The president himself has been quite firm on this. He has said that corruption, he'll not condone corruption. He has been saying that bodies that are tasked with fighting corruption must do their work, and that is the concern that will, of course, feature strongly today when Parliament will be asking the tough questions to these two state bodies. Why are they not working together to end corruption in the country?
Many thanks there, Francis Ontomwa, joining us from our city centre studio. Of course, this is something that he will be following up on, and he will be giving us more details in our subsequent bulletins.